Hey, oops, there you are. I thought we didn't have you.
I'm here.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Travel Talk Tuesday. I'm Lainey Melnick with Dream Vacations, and I am here with the world traveler, CharlieTheTraveler. And today we are going to talk about South Africa with maybe a little bit of Africa, the rest of it thrown in. We'll see. So, how are you doing, Charlie?
I'm ready to talk Africa.
Good. I'm very, very distracted because I was just told I'm an award winner. I won a Travel Weekly Magellan Silver Award from my Travel with Lainey YouTube channel. So, yay! Yay me!
Where are you taking me?
I don't know where the awards are. I assume New York. I don't know.
All right, cool. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Okay, down to business.
Talk South Africa. We cover our company, CharlieTheTraveler. We operate in South Africa, and we do the neighboring countries as well. So there's Zambia, Zimbabwe, and that's for Victoria Falls. And Botswana has a nice day trip as well to see these beautiful hippos. So it's very common that people will either just do South Africa or they'll combine South Africa with Mozambique and these other countries.
Yes, and as I told you last week, I did that as well. I did South Africa, and then I combined it with a gorilla trek in Rwanda and Uganda. So, and that's more East Africa. But, you're going to go all the way out there. And South Africa has a million, it's got so much. It has high-end, amazing luxury resorts. It has the great safaris. And it has wine country that's just like amazing. But some people like to do more when they're all the way out there, and there's tons of options.
Mm-hmm. If you only have 12 days, then I recommend stick to South Africa. If you have 15, I recommend that you add Victoria Falls in the neighboring Zambia and Zimbabwe. And if you have 18 days, then also add Mozambique, because the water that I saw over there and the helicopter ride I did there was better than anywhere else on this planet.
Yeah, and there's some great island destinations off of Africa that have really beautiful beaches, amazing places to go.
Cool.
Alrighty, so do you want to talk about any of your specific itineraries?
Yeah, so the one that we do, it's going to start in Johannesburg and it ends in Cape Town.
Okay.
So, and from Johannesburg, it's usually the case that you're going to have to sleep there for one night, and the following day you fly to Kruger National Park, because their tour really starts over there. But usually people can't get to Kruger in time. By the time they arrive in Johannesburg, there's not a connecting flight. So they just do it the following morning.
Yes, and just for you guys to know, a lot of people refer to Johannesburg as Joburg. It's just a shorthand and easy to say. So if you hear somebody saying you're going to Joburg, they mean Johannesburg.
Indeed. And it's the whole thing's fun. In terms of pretty cities, Cape Town's going to beat everything there. But once you're in the Kruger National Park, the idea is to see the big five. And
yes.
I know you know what those are. Could you list them? Because you've done it before.
Oh my God. Are you going to put me on the spot? Elephants, lions. Okay. What are the other three? Wait, giraffes?
Well, you also have remember, you got the lions, cheetahs. Yeah, there's...
You can't do it either.
I saw all five of them. I know that much.
Now I'm going to Google it while you talk. Because we've got to know what the big five are. Come on.
Yeah, Kruger Park is probably the second most popular national park in Africa, following Serengeti in Tanzania. So, you really do see some good stuff. When I was there, I saw all of them. I really did. And is a lot of fun. And what we do from Kruger Park is, now if people want to add the falls, we will typically do all of that before we start exploring South Africa. But from Kruger Park, we take you, what are you doing?
I found the big five. Okay. It's lion, leopard, elephant, Cape buffalo, and rhinoceros. So we were a little off.
Well,
Okay, sorry. So I've been to Kruger as well. I loved Kruger, and we did 2 safaris a day, sunrise, and then in the afternoon. In the afternoon, a lot of the animals go to sleep, so sunrise is really the better time to go. But what do you do usually?
yeah, the sunrise is the best one. So, I mean, we will cover all the way down. So we will, the first day you get there, we'll give you like a night tour. The following day, we start real bright and early, like you just described, because that's when you're going to see the best wildlife. And you'll go all the way down to outside the park to a place called Hazy View. You end up sleeping there the night, and then the following day we take you to this canyon. It's called Plaid Canyon National Park. It's kind of their version of the Grand Canyon. Really nice place.
Yeah, actually, I did both of those things. So the other thing I wanted to make sure people understood is the weather is when you leave in the morning before sunrise, it is freezing. So you're in these open safari trucks, and it is really super cold. But as the day goes on, you get super, super hot. So it's really important to layer and be ready for all weather. Basically, is my advice.
It's good advice. And something that people can they confuse. So because it's the southern hemisphere, November through April usually is like the season to go, right? So we kind of think of like Brazil or one of those countries. You want to go for April, right? But there was a gentleman I spoke to today. I had to also tell him their summer is super hot. So people prefer generally going in the wintertime. So if you only want to do South Africa, November through April is okay. But if you want to start going north of that, or you want to start doing Mozambique and these other countries, you want to go during their winter season because their winters are like 72 degrees in the day.
Yeah.
Whereas their summers are like 110, you know? So.
And I'm from Texas, so to me, freezing is 70. So when I say things are freezing, maybe it's not what other people would think of as freezing. But I was really cold.
But South Africa does get colder than the rest of it, so you know that one we know. But so the that River Canyon is a real good one. It definitely is. Everybody loves seeing that. And after that day, we end up going to Durban. We fly to Durban. And there's a couple hotels that we do, depending on people's budget. But they have one of the best hotels I've seen in all in Africa is in Durban, right there. I mean, they serve oysters for breakfast. That's how extravagant this hotel is. And
I stayed there too. Sorry, I can't remember what hotel we stayed in though. So what's the good hotel that you're talking about?
I can send you. Well, I'll tell you exactly the few of them. So a good like 5-star hotel there is the Southern Sun Hotel. But there's one that's outside of town that's even most extravagant. So we use that one too. So it's a good place. But from Durban, the following day is when we go and do this pass. It's called the Sani Pass. And you also go into neighboring Lesotho, the country. So that's just a day trip. You go to that landlocked country, Lesotho.
I don't think I've been there. That's one place I don't think I went. So what do you see there?
So it's a 2-for-1. So that day you're doing the Sani Pass, which is a beautiful drive. It's a very scenic drive. And after that drive, I mean, you go to the border and then you actually get into Lesotho, the country. And the people look completely different over there. They're called the blanket people because it's cold and they're all like wearing blankets all day. So that's just, that's their little nickname over there, the blanket people. So, and then you go into their village and they'll kind of come out and they'll start dancing and little music and that kind of thing. It was an experience. I mean, that was really like authentic when you get over there. That was as authentic as an experience can get going over there and just meeting them. And that scenic drive was good too. So doing both of those things as a day trip from Durban can be a lot of fun. It's just a long day. I mean, you're leaving at 7 o'clock
Yeah.
in the morning and you're not getting back until like 8 o'clock at night.
I have to say that our experience doing that too, those kinds of really authentic cultural experiences, is what sticks more than anything in my memories. They had us eating crickets, I believe. I can't remember what exactly it was. I think it was crickets, which I didn't partake, but friends of mine did, and they said it didn't taste like chicken. It tastes like crickets.
Yeah.
But that experience and being just engulfed in the culture is what it's all about. I think when you travel to these kinds of countries.
Yeah, you go in there for the experience. I mean, that's definitely why you're there. And you'll get that. So, and then the other day trip that we do from Durban, there's this Wildcat Project Center. It's like a rehabilitation center. And you'll see like cheetahs over there, and you see a caracal and these other wildcats. Have you ever seen a caracal in real life?
Yeah, I think I went to that exact place.
You
Yeah,
did?
beautiful cats, and they're right there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, one of them, I have a photo of this thing. Like it, when it looks at you, my God, I mean, she's the look on the face with the fangs and all that. It's just looking right at you. Yeah, it looked like someone I remember, but
Hope it wasn't your wife.
what makes you think that?
I don't know. I don't know why I came up with that. Sorry.
Yeah, you know,
I should apologize to her.
these are interesting assumptions that you're making there, my friend. So, yeah, we'll call it an ex-friend. We'll just say that. In any case, on that same day, we go to St. Lucia Game Reserve, and you'll go on a boat tour, and you'll see these hippos and crocodiles.
I love hippos. Sorry, go ahead. That's like my favorite animal that we saw the whole time we were hippos. I love the hippos.
Yeah, and how they open up their mouth, and it's just
Yeah. And the birds who just like hang out on top of them.
yeah. That whole thing. So, yeah, we really pack it in. Our South Africa tour again is like 12 days. And what we end up doing is after Durban, what we do is fly to a city called Port Elizabeth. And the only reason why you go to Port Elizabeth is to use it as the airport, because you're taken to this national park. It's really hard to pronounce this one. It's Tsitsikamma National Park.
Okay.
And there's like a Storms River, and then you go ziplining over there. And there's like a suspension bridge walk that you go on. And then there's this place where they have this bungee. I didn't do the bungee. I just...
Is this the one that's like the highest bungee in the world or something?
Yeah.
Oh, we went to that one too. Yeah, that was scary. There's no way I would do that bungee, but it looked amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I really wanted to, but I just had this little ache in my back, so I just had to opt out.
Right.
I really was just this little thing on my neck. I don't know what it was, but yeah, it was definitely, it's nice. And having a change of scenery is important when you're on a trip like this, right?
Yeah.
So too much of any one thing, I mean, you're going to appreciate it, but after a while, you've kind of already expecting it. So we like to change it. So even in this itinerary that I've started to describe to you, I mean, in the beginning, you're with the big five. You're seeing the giraffes, or whether we, the big 5+. So you're seeing all these animals you don't normally see, right? And the next thing you know, we're in like a Grand Canyon type of setting, and next thing you know, we're doing a very scenic drive, and you're meeting these people that just you've never seen anything like that before.
And there's a beautiful coast too, with just amazing rocks and surf, and it's just a gorgeous country.
Well, and then that's where this starts coming in. So after the Durban, after you make that, and then you've seen the hippos with their mouth open and all this kind of stuff. That's now when you fly into Port Elizabeth, and from there all the way towards Cape Town, that's the garden route. That's what that
right.
And that is like that part of the country looks very much like the United States or Australia or one. It feels very much like that.
I agree.
Even the homes you see, the infrastructure, everything, it looks very much like the West. But yeah, and I mean, so now we've gone from these national parks, and next thing you know, we're zip lining, we're going on these bridge walks, and you're
Mm.
seeing this very nice water and beaches. And if you want to go bungee jumping on this day, you can as well. So
Mm.
that is the kind of variety that we offer to keep your brain fresh with new experiences and new activities and new sights, new everything.
So you can do some shark diving as well. There are great whites in the water there. They have cage diving, which I did not do because the water was really, really cold.
Good, cold.
Yeah, but I wanted to try it, but I just took a boat ride instead of actually getting in with them. But there was some interesting water sport possibilities there.
Mm-hmm. But it is cold, like you said.
Yeah.
That's why we offer things like that. We typically offer it as an add-on.
Mm.
We try not to do too many of those because it's just too much thinking and stress. But things like bungee jumping or, the cage, these are not for everybody. So for those
Right.
that are, more, stronger at heart, we give that to them. And then pretty much before you leave that whole area on this garden route, you're taken to these places. It's called the Congo Caves, and there's like an adventure tour where you're squeezing through caves. And for those who have more
Mm.
phobia, there's a simpler like walk that you do, but it's a really cool cave that you see there. Um, and you see this place called Neisner. It's got this beautiful scenery and that kind of thing. And then next thing you know, you're flying over to Cape Town, which is a whole different experience from everything that we've been talking about.
Yes. Yeah, Cape Town is your big city, kind of South African big city where it's similar to any big city anywhere around the world. So you're not feeling like you're in a third world country. You've got luxury, all of the most amazing Michelin star restaurants. It's a beautiful city.
It's probably, in my opinion, it's probably the prettiest city in Africa, or at least from all the cities
Yeah.
in Africa that I've seen. Yeah, I think it takes the cake on its aesthetics.
Yeah, I mean, if you're comparing it to Joburg, it's like Joburg is not a city that I would say you want to go spend some time in, whereas Cape Town, go for several days and enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Johannesburg, it's got like Robben Island, where that famous prison was.
Oh, right.
Nelson Mandela was imprisoned. It's got
Yeah.
all the things near to Cape Town. I mean, it's got Table Mountain. It's got the
Mm.
Penguin Beach, where you go there and you
Yeah.
just see penguins everywhere. And
Yeah.
it's also used as a base from which to do the day trip for the wineries, because the Dutch went over there and they brought the wines,
Hmm.
and they have the Cape Winelands and all that. So, and
Yeah.
then you have like Cape Point. So there's a lot of reasons why to be in and around Cape Town. Johannesburg, again, is best used as a hub,
Right.
because you're going to have to go if you want to go
Mhm.
anything beyond what we've now talked about in like a 12-day itinerary. You're going to need to go through Johannesburg. You're going to need to go there if you want to go to Mozambique. You're going to need to go through Johannesburg if you want to go to the Victoria Falls, which is a huge deal.
Yeah. And
So
we did see an amazing museum too. You talked about Mandela. There was, I can't remember what it was called, but there's a beautiful museum that's heart-wrenching, of course, takes you through everything there. I can't remember if it was in Johannesburg or if it was in a different city. I don't remember. Anyway, sorry.
no, that's near Durban. I know the one you're
Oh,
talking.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's where that one is. But yeah, so if you're going to be adding any of that stuff, do it from Johannesburg. And I strongly recommend, if you do have the 15 or 18 days, that you do Mozambique and or Victoria Falls before all these other places that you and I have just talked about in South Africa.
So
So
I didn't get to Victoria Falls. That's a place that I know many of my clients really want to hit. How would you describe it compared to all the other falls we all know, like Niagara Falls or, Iguazu Falls?
yeah, it
Mhm.
is. I mean, the Iguazu Falls, the Niagara Falls also, and the Victoria, those three are probably the most impressive I've seen anywhere on the planet. They're different. I mean, this one, it's longer and more narrow. Um, so I mean, I did the flight scene tour, which was also very cool. But when you get on the ground itself and see it from both sides, it's a whole different experience. And what makes it so beautiful is that the falls are hitting so hard on the ground that it's spraying up. So we all know rain from the sky dripping on your head, right? So imagine rain from the ground coming up,
Oh,
because the effect of it, it's like, and it's just completely going all the way up. And as it's going up, you will see rainbows, and these are very, very bright rainbows. Um,
cool.
so yeah, I mean, that's one of those things in your life you don't want to miss. And it's got not only that, it's called Boma, BOMA. It's this show with really good food. So, I mean, sometimes you go to these kind of things and they're like tourist traps. This one was really authentic. You're taken over there and they've got really good food. They got a huge selection of quality food, and they got music and some entertainment and that kind of thing. And that's typically where we take our customers to before actually showing them the waterfalls. And then remember, when you see the waterfalls, you see it from the Zimbabwe side, because when you arrive, you will be arriving into Victoria City, Victoria Falls, which is on the Zimbabwe side. However, to see the falls properly, it needs to be shown on both the Zimbabwe and Zambian side. And in my opinion, the Zambian side is even prettier than the Zimbabwe side.
And are you staying overnight there?
Oh yeah, you're sleeping there for a few nights.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so because you have the flight seeing tour, you have the Zambian side, you have the Zimbabwe side, and then you have the Boma, this place for, and then also you're making a day trip from Zimbabwe to the Choda Park in Botswana, and it's got really nice wildlife over there. That's just a day trip. You bring your passport, you go there, you see it, you come back. So that's where these 3 extra days come into play if you want to add Victoria Falls onto the South Africa tour. That's what makes it 15.
Okay, gotcha.
So, and then just one thing to note, for people who add Victoria Falls, you have to buy a visa upon arrival, and they have an ATM so you can pull money out, but make sure you get a multiple entry visa. They want you to make the mistake. They don't tell you. So they want you to think, oh, I just need a one time, but think about what I just said. So you're in Zimbabwe, you're going to Zambia, back to Zimbabwe. You're going to Botswana, back to there. So if you don't buy a multiple entry visa, they're going to charge you top dollar every single time. So we do tell our customers beforehand, don't fall into that trap. Make sure you buy the multi entry visa for Zimbabwe, and you're fine. So that's what will bring you up to the 15 days. And then the other 3 days is if you want to add Mozambique. And that one for me was an incredibly underrated destination.
And it's very reasonably priced.
Yeah, it is. They have for sure, like, I mean, you're going on a helicopter ride without doors. So, I mean, and they will go down and you're seeing multicolored water. I mean, many colors. And it's brown, and then it's green, and then it's blue, and then it's red, and it's I mean, it is, and just you get very close to it, and it's to be honest with you, I think Victoria Falls was my second favorite experience in Africa, or at least Southern Africa. First was this place in Mozambique. It's near Vilanculos. It's a national park near there.
So I think a lot of people are a little confused about the difference between like the Great Migration and what happens there and where you go in the Serengeti, or and seeing the Big Five. They don't understand what the Big Migration is, even though that's what everybody seems to want, or they think that's what they want. Have you done that?
I haven't, but I mean, that's Serengeti in Tanzania. It's at a very specific time of year. And it's a cool thing. It's a different experience though, you know?
Right.
So it's, yeah, it's if you have time during that specific season, it's okay. But yeah, that'll be in a neighboring country.
So let me just take a minute and do like a little introduction. We're about halfway through. Again, you're listening to Travel Talk Tuesday with Lainey and Charlie the Traveler. I own a travel agency, Dream Vacations, Lainey, Melnick and Associates in the Westlake Hills area of Austin, Texas. And Charlie is on the West Coast over, you're in LA, right?
Los Angeles.
Well, yeah. So I am still giving away an Azamara cruise. We have one more week available to hit that QR code and enter to win an Azamara cruise. And then next quarter it changes. And I don't know what I'm giving away next quarter, so stay tuned. But go ahead and enter to win the Azamara cruise. You can win both, so it doesn't mean that you can't win next time. And if you want to enter to win our $50 gift certificate towards any Charlie the Traveler tour that you book through Lainey, just put hashtag Travel Talk Tuesday in any comments on any of our platforms. We are streaming on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. I think that's all that we've got going at this point. If you guys would please subscribe to me on TikTok, as soon as I get enough followers there, we'll be streaming on TikTok as well. But I've got like 8,000 to go, so it's going to be a little while.
You know what? I think something good to talk about is, and this is on everybody's mind at some point, especially people who haven't been on the continent before, safety.
Yes, definitely. And I went there as a single woman, and people thought I was crazy to go to Africa by myself. But it's not crazy. People do it all the time, and I felt very safe.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with you, Lainey. I know you got that Taekwondo moves on you there. You could battle a giraffe on your own. You won't need help.
Well, I don't know if that's true. I do have guides that I insist that I have somebody with me. And that's one of the reasons to go with someone like Charlie, because you are with people, you are protected, you're in a group, or you're in a situation where they're taking care of you. And I hired a guide just to take me through Uganda and Rwanda. So I was with him from the moment I stepped off the plane until the moment I got back on the plane. He took me all through, except there is a very scary border you have to go through between Uganda and Rwanda. I mean, it was scary for me because he couldn't walk me through it. He had to let me off on one border end and then go to the other side of the border to pick me up. And I had to walk through, they had like this huts set up. So you have to go through your passport and immigration, and they had dogs going through your bags. And it was a little scary for me, but I could see him on the other side of the border. So there's people, with machine guns on the way. And you just have to get to the other side. It was just a really scary last few paces that I had. And I do my videos, of course, my YouTube channel. So I was videotaping myself the whole way, and the people there were just super curious about what the technology was, what was I doing, what's this equipment. And so I was kind of surrounded the whole time with people really curious. And having blonde hair there is very unusual. And it attracted a lot of people who thought I was a movie star, and they wanted to be in my videos with me. So, but it was fun, and it was a little scary to be a little, alone for a little bit of time. But that is why you book with Charlie, you book with Lainey, and we make sure that you are in a safe situation the whole time.
That's exactly right. That's why we have. We're in these countries for a reason. I'm not in some of these other countries because it's just, you can kind of just show up and wing it. Southern Africa as a whole, really, you can't just wing it. You need everything prearranged. You need everything organized. You do need tour guides and that sort of thing. And as long as it's done properly, fortunately, we've never had any problems with anything. We've done this so many times to where it's just, we know exactly what to do and not do. And the places that we're taking you to are on the beaten path and safe. If you're hanging out on your own in Johannesburg in the nighttime, yeah, you can have problems. But we're not covering that, and we're not doing it on purpose. We're taking you to the places that are worth your time and are safe, and others go there and they have a wonderful time with it. So yeah, it's not really something that, when you're on this tour, it's not really something that you're going to be thinking about or feeling, like there's this danger, hovering over you type of thing. We're taking you to the best that the area has to offer. So,
I even had an experience in Cape Town, and it's like any city. I just want to reiterate that when you go to any city, there are good places and bad places. And if you don't know, you don't know. So I decided to walk from my hotel to the market area. And that was not a good choice, it turned out. You just don't know enough when the people who were trying to sell to us kept insisting if we wanted to use credit cards, we had to come with them and walk blocks away to go to their storefront so they could run the cards, and you had to fill out paperwork. And it turned out to be true that we needed to go through this whole ordeal because of what we were buying. But we weren't sure. We had no idea if we were being scammed, if we were supposed to be following these people or not. Luckily, I was with a big group, and I was never alone. I always had people with me, or who knew where I was.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. It's something you kind of touched on there. You will get approached, even when you have a tour guide. You will be approached by people who are selling stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me show you this bracelet, or let me kind of show you these glasses, or whatever they may be. It's just, I've seen so much of it that it doesn't touch me. It just in one ear out the other. But somebody who hasn't experienced something like that before, they might be like, "Why is somebody approaching me?" But it's the same thing. Like you go to a bar, say, "Hey, how you doing? How's the weather?" I'm in love with you type of thing.
Happens to me all the time.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. Here's a drink. Here's my thing. But yeah, I remember when I was at the Zambian side of the Victoria Falls, and the guy kind of comes up to me. He's like, "Hey man, I got these glasses for you, and you're going to look beautiful in these glasses." I kind of said, "My friend, no matter what you put on my face, it's not going to make me look any better. All right, let's be honest. Unless you put a whole trash bag over the whole thing, nothing's going to." So for me, I make a little humor with him, and so for me, it's not a big deal. And he said, "Well, where are you from?" I said, "I'm from California." "Oh, Schwarzenegger. He was the governor over there." I said, "Yeah, the governor. Yeah." He says, "Schwarzenegger, he was over here in Victoria Falls, and he told us, he said, 'I'll be back.'" And I said, "I hate to break the news. He's probably full of it."
He probably says that everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. He said, "Well," he says, "What, you don't think he's going to come back?" I said, let me call him. Hold on, let me get my phone and call him real quick. Let me ask him what's going on. So we just kind of BS each other, mess around a little bit, and then we just kind of laugh it off. And I said, "No, I'm joking with you. I don't need any glasses, thank you." Though. It's just like he laughed, I laughed, and just call it a day. That's it.
And you're okay speaking English in most of these countries, from what I remember. I'm trying to think.
Mozambique speaks French. No, I'm sorry, they speak Portuguese. But in Zambia, Zimbabwe, remember they were one country before. South Africa, all of those countries right there speak English. Yeah, they just speak English like the rest of us. So yeah, their way of saying yes, it's kind of I always kind of chuckled when I heard them say yes. Like if I ask you a question, you ask me a question, you say, "Okay, yes," right?
Yes.
I say, yeah. Okay, there you go. They kind of say it like this. Yes, like that. Okay, like they say yes, like they've done something wrong and there's some problem. Like, I say, "Can I please have some rooibos tea?" And they go, "Yes." You know what I mean? Like, I kind of look around, like like we're doing something wrong here, but it's just their accent. That's all.
Okay, well, let me give you one more little ad. So go ahead and click the QR code and enter to win our Azamara cruise for the quarter. It's ending next week, so we're going to pick really soon. And then put hashtag Travel Talk Tuesday in any comment and any platform that this is on. And you can enter to win our $50 gift certificate for any Charlie the Traveler tour that you book through Lainey, my agency, Dream Vacations. So what else do you want to tell us about South Africa or Africa?
It's Southern Africa. Well, part of it is just how to get around, right? So through you and through us, we're providing the shuttles, we're providing the private cars, we're providing all of this stuff. So in South Africa, it's like a hybrid between shared tours and private. It's probably like 70-30. Sometimes people want it all private, and we'll do that. But otherwise, for about 70% of the tour, you're going to be with other travelers. When you do Victoria Falls and all of that, the tours themselves are private. When you go to Botswana, that's going to be shared with other travelers. And Mozambique, it's also half and half. So, going on these tours, unless you explicitly ask not to, you will be with other travelers sharing the memories with you.
And that's actually one of the benefits of using your tours. I have lots of different tour providers who do South Africa and Africa, but your tours are, I don't know if I would say the only ones, but probably the only ones that you can leave any day that you want and still do the same itinerary and have some shared days. Because of the way that you operate your tours. Other of my tour providers, you must leave on their specific date for their specific dates and follow their itinerary. And it's all the same group that you're with every single day. So it's a little different with Charlie.
Yeah, we do this intentionally like this. We do try to change up the group. You meet different people, new faces, new personalities, and all this kind of stuff. And of course, people you want to stay in contact with, you just stay in contact with them. But this one helps you meet more people, and two, gives you more flexibility on when you can start, like you just had described. And then once we put the stuff together, internally, we figure out all the flights that you need from home to Africa, inside Africa, domestically, even internationally between, Zambia and South Africa and Mozambique. So we will provide all of that. So nobody has to guess any of this stuff. We don't like people to think too much. It's just we basically put everything on a silver platter. So they're just like, okay, I just need this, I need that, I need this. Let's do it.
And some of the flights are not like you would expect normally with the flights, how you have a layover somewhere. In some of the flights that I took, they are more like buses. So it'll take you one stop to one airport and you don't even get off. You don't move your seat, and it just lets some people off and some people on, and then it moves to the next. So if you're not understanding how the flights work and you're trying to book it yourself, you may completely mess it up by staying in an airport that you don't need to stay in. You just have to sit in your seat and wait and go again, which is one of the reasons why you use somebody who knows how to book the travel.
And something to add to that, yeah, thank you. Something to add to that is this stuff is not common sense. So if somebody just says, okay, where does the tour start? Okay, it starts at Kruger Park, or it starts in Mozambique. If you on your own try to go, not you, Lainey, but if the viewer tries to go on his own and try to figure it out, he won't figure it out. I can tell you right now. They're not going to figure it out. It's a lot of stuff, and you often have to get your luggage at one place. So you like get at one airport in Johannesburg, whatever, you got to get your luggage, and then you got to go check into another flight. I mean, these are all the things that we do all day long. And if it was so simple, then they wouldn't need me.
Right, exactly.
These things are complicated, and if there weren't complications and stresses, then you and I wouldn't have a job. So, now, of course, the people that go on these tours, they're not going to know the difference. It's like watching a movie. You don't know what's behind the screen and what it took to put this whole thing together. For them, it's just going to be this roller coaster ride, and, strap on the seatbelt and have fun with it. But yeah, there is a lot of back end work and research and knowledge you have to make sure that it all runs smoothly.
And as you said earlier, you choose the locations for your tours specifically for people, because a lot of your clients actually are great independent travelers. I would say that's one of the things I like. When I hear somebody really likes to travel alone, I think of you immediately, because it's a great fit for people who travel by themselves normally, but really you're out of your element in this country. So that's something that is important to understand for your tours, that you choose these locations because they're complex and they're not so easy. And it's just going to make your trip so much better if you use somebody who knows what they're doing to take you stress-free from point A to point B. And I would definitely put the continent of Africa in that boat. Whatever. I can't think of words anymore. Sorry.
And you earlier in the show, you mentioned that it is difficult to get there, right? And
Yeah.
part of it is you have to get your luggage in one place, get out, leave the international section, and then go into the domestic. So, I mean, I tell people this. I mean, if you only have the 12 days, I mean, you only have 12 days. It just is what it is. But if you can squeeze in that extra time, I would strongly recommend adding those other countries, because, if you don't do it now, or if you don't do it when you make your trip to Africa, when are you going to go do it? Right.
Right.
And then these countries that we've talked about, Victoria Falls and Mozambique and all that, you're going to have to go through Johannesburg anyways. So even if you leave Africa and later in your life say, okay, I want to go now, you're going to be going through that same Johannesburg airport.
Right.
So,
And I mean, there are people who do cruises or do river cruises through the country. They just do pre or post in some African countries. So that's another option, that if you do a Charlie the Traveler tour, you can add on either way, doing all sorts of different things. Yeah, I mean, the world is your oyster.
the world is your oyster. Something I wanted to talk about real quickly, cost.
Yeah, good idea.
These, people, Africa, we keep it relatively affordable. I mean, our tour prices are a lot better than most companies. The one place where you got to be careful on is those lodges in the parks. So we do provide good lodges, but there really is no limit to what you can spend. I mean, they've got rooms there that are $2,000 a night if you really want that. So we kind of tell people, look, I mean, you're staying in a lodge. Is it more about the lodge itself, or is it about, the animals you want to see? Is it okay blowing your budget? To each his own. And for those who've got a bigger budget, we'll do it. But otherwise, we still put them in good lodges, and they get the full experience. So you have both options. So it's not like you have to blow your budget or don't go, or you have to stay in some really dirty place. No, you can stay at a good place and still get the full experience. And if you just want pure extravagance, that's there's an option too. But that will be the biggest cost in terms of just some kind of upgrade, or something that will start taking the pocket change out of your pocket quickly. So.
Well, and I actually would really recommend the private reserves and doing really high-end luxury tents or accommodations. I know it is a big budget item, but it is really an experience. And the people who I've sent on these luxury vacations, safaris, just are blown away by what they see. And it's different than when you go to Kruger. I mean, Kruger's fabulous too, but having a private reserve is a different experience.
Yeah, that's true. Food. Anything you want to say about the food?
Well, I mean, the Cape Town food is to die for. Amazing. You can get just amazing food there. So good. So people shouldn't think that they're not going to get high-end steak, lobster, whatever they want is there. But there's also street food. There's also the other end of the spectrum, which is also delicious. I think when you eat food in any country, you have to really be open to the culture.
Indeed. The food because we pick really good restaurants for our customers. So, the food that you'll get in South Africa and also in Zambia and these places, it's good. For me, the Boma, that one was one of the best for food, and the hotel in Durban. But yeah, all of those countries have good food. But surprisingly, my favorite food in that whole part was Mozambique. I had no idea that the food over there was that good, but it was surprisingly good because it's got a fusion with like Portuguese food, and they've got just these nice stews and stuff. So the food in Mozambique is very different from elsewhere on the continent. You know, elsewhere it's going to be very much like just your grills. You know, it's very much like, you know, a grill type of diet, barbecue, that kind of thing. But when you go into Mozambique, there's a lot of sauces, a lot of marination, a lot of all that kind of stuff. So,
And a lot of the hotels, especially when you're in the parks, they have a dinner set up. You have a buffet, or you know, are the hotels that you use usually include the food?
the breakfasts include all nights.
But
That's
not dinners. I can't think of where we had a lot of dinners included too, I think.
so I'm trying to think here. Well, the Boma is a dinner that's in Victoria
Right.
in Zimbabwe. So that dinner's included. And then when you're in South Africa, we typically get you back around 6 o'clock or so. So at that point, you take your shower and then you go wherever you like for dinner. So it's typically the breakfasts that are included.
And breakfast is the same everywhere. It's either like an English kind of breakfast or an American type breakfast or an Asian type breakfast. Those are most places in the world, those are the options you'll get.
Yes, but in Mozambique, it's got a little twist there. That one's different for breakfast.
So what kind of breakfast items do they have?
Well, they're going to have also like Portuguese. So you have, you know, nata, you know, those little custards.
Oh,
They got like this cream custard thing. Yeah. So
yummy.
it's got like, it's got
I
like,
haven't had dinner yet, so you're making me hungry.
yeah. So it's got like these kind of stuff that you'd find like at a pastry shop, you know,
Interesting.
ooh la la. Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting down to the wire, Charlie. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about next week. You chose Africa. We've already done the Philippines. We've already done Greece. What was the one? Oh, we already did Sicily. Oh, we already did Iceland. Did we do all this already?
We haven't done Thailand. We haven't done Laos. We haven't done a bunch of Vietnam, a bunch of stuff that we haven't covered.
Well, I can certainly talk about Vietnam since I was there too. That would be fine. Or I don't know. What's like your most popular ones that we haven't talked about yet?
UAE, United Arab Emirates.
Oh, I just had a great group I sent to Dubai, so that's kind of close. So
Yeah, I mean, we operate there, and our tour is very that tour. That's as prestigious as our tours get. I mean, that one is a.
let's do that. Let's do that one next time.
Yeah.
Okay, and before we go, everybody, make sure you scan our QR code and enter to win the Azamar cruise in our quarterly contest. And then put hashtag Travel Talk Tuesday into your comments. It doesn't have to be during the live. You can do it after if you're watching this later. Just put Travel Talk Tuesday in your comments, and we will just randomly be awarding $50 gift certificates to anybody who wants to take a Charlie the Traveler cruise tour through Lainey. So please go ahead and hashtag Travel Talk Tuesday in any comments on any platform.
Sounds perfect to me. Sounds perfect to me.
All right, we've got a 10-minute wrap up. Do you want to go over anything else?
I love working with you.
I love working with you too.
Cool. And then I'm glad you're sending your customers to Dubai. I mean, that's another cool part of the world. But yeah, South Africa is one of those things that people, they don't, maybe they only get one chance in their life to do it down there. So do it right. go there and see it right.
Yes, definitely. Sorry, I'm trying to see all these comments that are coming in. Here, I'll show. Oh, somebody showed that one. Well, thank you. I don't know. Oh, it's Samantha. Didn't you win last week? And I tried to contact you last week. So I left you a message, but I think because you followed Charlie and not me, I don't know if it went to you. But you are a winner from last week for the $50 gift certificate. So please contact me and let me know what tour you'd like. And thanks for watching. All right, Charlie, I think it's about time I need to get some dinner.
I'm hungry too. After all that food that we talked about, yeah, that's exactly what I want right now.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching, and please subscribe to my channel, the award-winning Travel with Lainey YouTube channel that I just won a Magellan Travel Weekly Silver Award for 2024. So I'm really excited. And I've got thousands of videos, long-form documentary style for you to learn all there is to know about travel all over the world, which is why you come to us. So thanks for watching, and thanks, Charlie, for joining me on another Travel Talk Tuesday. All right. Oh, I don't think Alex, thank you. I don't remember how to do this.
Bye, Lainey.
Bye-bye, Charlie. See you next week.